Welcome in, 49ers faithful. We have another week of football. We survived that final minute against the Cowboys, and we are on to Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers. This is one of those old school NFC rivalries. This is one of those rivalries that, although they don't play every year, it seems like they're playing every year more now. Whenever they are both good, whenever both these teams are good, it's a great game to watch. And that's why I'm glad it's a prime time spot on Saturday night, even though the 49ers are entering as 6-point dogs. How are you feeling about this game? Are Niners fans right to feel a sense of confidence heading into Green Bay?
I think there is a belief here that the Niners kind of owned the Packers here in the postseason. You've seen the last three times that these two teams have faced off. All three times Aaron Rodgers has been the quarterback for the Packers, and all three times have been Niners victories. A lot of that has to do with some of the physicality that these Niners teams brings. And I think that's going to be the same thing that we're going to see on Saturday. I think that's basically the key to victory for the Niners on Saturday, is to be super physical with this team and to try to run as best as they possibly can. We saw what Jimmy could do in the second half against Dallas. He could, have potentially a moment where he throws us out of a game. And the best way to combat that is to just run the ball successfully. I mean, that's always been the DNA of this team, really. And whenever they are successful is when they run the football. And even more so whenever the opposite team has a guy like Aaron Rodgers, the best way to combat him is to just keep him off the field. And the best way to do that is to have these long and enduring drives that just take up a lot of the clock. And then the Niners are going to have to do that, because right now Aaron Rodgers and that offense are playing at an elite level. They're playing some of the best football that I've seen in a very long time on the offensive side of the ball. So the best thing that the Niners could possibly do is to win the way they were able to win 2 years ago in that NFC Championship game, or the time when Colin Kaepernick and both Frank Gore were able to amass 100 yards against that Packers defense. That's going to be the recipe for success again on Saturday. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that this Niners team is ready to do that, pound the rock. But at the same time, this Packers team knows that this Packers defense knows that that's going to be the recipe to success for the Niners as well. So that's going to be the interesting matchup to see, that Niners run game against this Packers defense.
Over under 8 pass attempts for Jimmy.
Hopefully under, because if it's under, that means we don't have to throw the ball, right? That means we're just pounding the rock 40 times, and that means we're having success doing it. It's very unlikely that we're going to see that play out like it did in 2019, where he only threw the ball 8 times. The Packers are going to stack the box and going to prevent that from happening. So Jimmy better be ready to throw the ball at least 20 times.
I agree that this is going to be very important for Jimmy Garoppolo to make some big time throws, and it's going to be a little bit harder because this week he's dealing with a shoulder injury in addition to the thumb injury, which has been torn and chipped and mismatched. So he's dealing with a lot right now, but he's also has to take on a lot of the responsibilities if the Niners are going to win this game, because it's not going to be a situation in which he's only throwing 8 times. I can guarantee that. I can say that with a 99.9% level of confidence here, because the Packers are going to want to put him in a script in which they're going to have to throw the ball, which is going to require some key third down conversions, some red zone conversions. I think this game might come down to literally who wins the first toss. And I say that because if the Niners can get the ball first, if the Niners can score first, if the Niners can play from ahead, then that's going to allow the pass rushers to pin their ears back, just get after Aaron Rodgers' ass, and then you're able to just keep the ball on the ground with Elijah Mitchell, keep the ball on the ground with Deebo Samuel. And when I think about how Deebo's been running lately, it's very reminiscent of Raheem. If Deebo can kind of find those little creases and gaps and play bully ball, because that's the key for the Niners really winning this game. They have to be more physical for the Packers. And that's the key to basically their playoff success over the last 10 years over the Packers, being the more physical team, being the team that punches first. And as good as Aaron Rodgers is, when you're able to frazzle him, when you're able to get that pass rush after him, when he's playing with a multiple score disadvantage, that's not necessarily Aaron Rodgers' game script to win. Yes, he can burn you with 37 seconds left on the clock down a score. But if you're talking about multiple scores, that's not where Aaron Rodgers really succeeds. And that's what I've noticed from him in his recent history, even going back to week 1. And I know it's week 1. Look at what happened to the New Orleans Saints game. As soon as he fell behind, that game was over. Look back at the last year's Tampa Bay regular season game when Tampa was able to get a good pass rush and be more physical. Tom Brady threw them into the last game in the NFC Championship game. Tom Brady had them up, but then quickly threw it all away with the interceptions in the second half, which is, of course, going back to Jimmy Garoppolo, can't throw any interceptions. We just can't give the Packers second chances in this game. Some other important things injury report wise. So Nick Bosa was participating today. It seems like he is on schedule to play Saturday. And every Niners fan here knows if we didn't have Nick Bosa, there's no chance in hell we're winning this game. I'm just being frank. If Nick Bosa is on the field, we're not winning this game, folks. So Nick Bosa being out there, very encouraging. Fred Warner is saying at this moment, he expects to play, although he's dealing with the ankle injury. So it's going to take a lot. It's probably going to take a shot in the leg and extra wrap to get him out there. When it comes to the Packers, Jair Alexander still dealing with a shoulder injury. He did not practice as of Wednesday. Marquez Valdez-Scantling also dealing with the injury. Bakhtiari did not practice at all on Wednesday. And if Bakhtiari's out and Nick Bosa's in, obviously that's a huge advantage to the Niners there. When you can get the other pass rushers, Arden Key, Eric Armstead, Charles
Omenahu, I think it is.
Charlie O. I'm going to call you Charlie O. We'll go with that one there. But no, you've been great ever since acquiring you from Texas. I thought that was a big nothing burger of a move, but suddenly I'm starting to like it. I'm starting to like this guy. And Samson Ebukam, of course, you've been coming up big lately as well. This Niners pass rush, fun stat that I want to throw in there. Did you know, as much as we like shit on the Niners pass defense, they've held opposing passers under their season average 15 of 18 games this season, with the lone exception being Jared Goff, Colt McCoy, and Joe Burrow being the best of the list?
No, yeah, it brings up a good dynamic here and a good question as to what can that Niners front four kind of replicate as far as what they did against Dallas, because that was really the game-changing kind of scenarios that we were seeing, is that Nick Bosa, literally from the first drive, he got a sack on Dak Prescott, and ever since then, it felt like Dak Prescott was under pressure for literally the entire game, even after Nick Bosa went out. So that's really going to be another key to success. It's really going to be a battle of the line of scrimmage against this Packers team. And we've seen this Niners team kind of win and be pretty dominant when it comes to winning the line of scrimmage. And also, if we remember, we played these guys already week 3. That was brought up during a lot of both teams' press conference. And one of the common denominators of those press conferences were both of these teams are completely different from what they were in week 3. If you remember, the Packers were coming off of losing that week 1 game, that blown out week 1 game to New Orleans, and then they recovered week 2, and then they came back and then beat us in week 3. The Niners we clearly could see that this is a completely different team. This is a completely different defense, in my opinion. So I think you could kind of throw away that week 3 matchup that we had. Maybe helps us a little bit in the revenge angle. I'm not too sure, but I mean, if you need motivation to play in Lambeau Field in the divisional round, then there's something wrong with you to begin with anyway. So, I mean, that week 3 matchup is kind of a wash for me at this point. It's Kyle Shanahan has been saying it this whole week. It's about these 3.5 hours. It's about who is going to impose their will more when it comes to physicality, when it comes to winning the line of scrimmage. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think the Niners have an advantage in that. I think we're the more tougher team. There's also talks about how the inclement weather might play a factor. I'm going to be honest with you again. I think the Niners play better in those type of scenarios than the Packers do. I think the Packers are more built for a dome type of atmosphere. And I think the Niners, that this plays into their strengths. I think we see some of these guys, they're used to playing in the cold weather. Jimmy Garoppolo is from Arlington Heights, Illinois, not too far from Wisconsin. George Kittle played in Iowa. Brandon Ayuk even played in Reno, Nevada, where they get a bunch of snow. So we have a bunch of guys who grew up playing in inclement weather. So that doesn't even worry me at all.
You know, the one part you shouldn't throw away from that week 3 game, there is some game film. In fact, there's some game film in the final minute that suggests you should probably double Devontae Adams. D'Amico, I think you should probably watch that over and over and over again until it's hammered home. Do not leave Devontae Adams one-on-one with any of your defenders, especially with Ambry Thomas dealing with a bone bruise. Even if he plays, dealing with a bone bruise against, I don't know, the best wide receiver in the NFL today. Don't let it happen. Bracket coverage, whatever you got to do. Fred, don't let him get behind you. That was a big point of contention in that last game. If you're out there Sunday with that ankle injury, don't let Devontae get behind you. And I think you're in a good pathway to win this game. I don't think there's any real reason for us to give our predictions here. I think everyone knows that we're going to go down with the ship. You know, we're going to be like on that Titanic. It's been a pleasure singing with you, gentlemen. Do, do, do. You know, so if they win, great. We have another episode to celebrate the victory. If they lose, well, I guess we have another video pop off because YouTube loves whenever we lose and have to react to that. But anyway, guys, let us know. What do you think is going to be the biggest X factor for the 49ers heading into Lambeau? Leave a like on this video. It helps to get out there to more Niners faithful like yourself. And if you like us, 49 reasons to listen, 2 reasons to subscribe right here with Juju Tech Sports and Jose Corral. Stay safe, happy, and healthy, and we will see you on the next one.